Hey guys, it's Emma Vigling with TYT Politics. Bombshell report from Donna Brazile this morning, of all people, from Politico, entitled Inside Hillary Clinton's Secret Takeover of the DNC. Part of what Donna Brazile discusses in this piece is that, yes, the primary was rigged, in a sense, in favor of Hillary Clinton and not Bernie Sanders. I don't use that word lightly, but she provides proof. She also discusses an essentially money laundering scheme from the Hillary Victory Fund, which we've done reporting on in the past, to the DNC and to the Clinton campaign, and how the Clinton campaign was essentially running the show because the DNC was so deep in debt. I will get into detail about this, but I do want to preface this by saying, wow, people are complicated, and systemic corruption is just that, systemic. Donna Brazile did a very corrupt thing by leaking those questions when she was at CNN to the Hillary Clinton campaign, which was, of course, exposed by our very own Jordan Sheridan. But now she's exposing corruption in the Democratic Party. People say she's a wonderful person. I don't know her personally, but I want to give her a lot of credit for going after President Obama, going after Hillary Clinton, going after people who do have power and are a part of the establishment in the Democratic Party. So let me get into the details of what she said in this article. My predecessor, Florida Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz, had not been the most active chair in fundraising at a time when President Barack Obama's neglect had left the party in significant debt. As Hillary's campaign gained momentum, she resolved the party's debt and put it on a starvation diet. It had become dependent on her campaign for survival, for which she had expected to wield control of its operations. Officials from Hillary's campaign had taken a look at the DNC's books. Obama left the party $24 million in debt, $15 million in bank debt, and more than $8 million owed to vendors after the 2012 campaign, and had been paying off that very slowly. Obama's campaign was not scheduled to pay it off until 2016. Hillary for America, the campaign, and the Hillary Victory Fund, its joint fundraising vehicle with the DNC, had taken care of 80% of the remaining debt in 2016, about $10 million, and had placed the party on allowance. So in addition to the many reasons that the establishment Democrats and the DNC wanted Hillary Clinton to have the nomination, the fact that they wanted to keep the status quo in place, etc., there was also the fact that she was paying off their debts, 80% in 2016. They owed her the nomination because she had paid them so much money to pay off the debt created by President Obama himself, a theoretically successful president, popular amongst the American people. But when you talk to Democratic Party insiders, they are very frustrated with him and don't like him very much. Because of just this, he put the party in so much debt because he spent so much money in 2012 trying to get himself reelected, and then there was no money left in this consultant culture for candidates on the state level. And that's what has done in the Democratic Party, and that's why the Republicans have the presidency, in addition to all of the state legislatures being decimated and the Republicans having a hold of them. Because when it comes to him, President Obama fights really hard on the campaign trail. But when it comes to legislating, President Obama wants to compromise. And then Hillary Clinton essentially, and her campaign, money laundered from the Hillary Victory Fund to cover up that debt. I will get to that in a second. On the phone with Gary Gensler, I want to pronounce that right, the CFO of Clinton's campaign, he told Brazile that the DNC needed a $2 million loan, which the Clinton campaign had arranged. No, that can't be true, I said. The party cannot take out a loan without the unanimous agreement of all the officers. Gary, how did they do this without me knowing, I asked. I don't know how Debbie relates to the officers, Gary said. He described the party as fully under control of the Hillary campaign, which seemed to confirm the suspicions of the Bernie camp. The campaign had the DNC on life support, giving it money every month to meet its basic expenses, while the campaign was using the party as a fundraising clearinghouse. Fully under control of Hillary's campaign, the DNC. That's a quote. Donna Brazile paraphrasing what the CFO of Hillary's campaign said. she had them by a stranglehold, a financial stranglehold. And that's how everything works now in the modern Democratic Party, right? So here's the kicker. FEC rules say that individuals can only contribute $2,700 directly to a presidential campaign, but on the local and state level, it's much higher, and this is where the Hillary Victory Fund comes into play. Individuals who had maxed out their $2,700 contribution limit to the campaign could write an additional check of $353,400 to the Hillary Victory Fund. That figure represented $10,000 to each of the 32 states' parties who were part of the Victory Fund agreement, $320,000 and $33,400 to the DNC. The money would be deposited in the states first and transferred to the DNC shortly after that. Money in the battleground states usually stayed in that state, but all the other states funneled that money directly to the DNC, which quickly transferred the money to Brooklyn. That money was supposed to be for whoever was the nominee and for the state's parties' races. But Hillary Clinton's campaign was controlling it. And there has been reporting about the Hillary Victory Fund in the past. In May, it came out that HVF was essentially a money laundering scheme. I'm going to repeat that because that's what this is. That was sapping resources from the state parties for the campaign itself, which was not what the fund was supposed to be doing. The states kept then, wait for it, less than half of 1% of the $82 million raised by that fund. Just going straight to Brooklyn, the campaign headquarters of Hillary Clinton. When Donna Brazile asked how this was possible, the CFO said, "That was the deal that Robbie struck with Debbie," he explained, referring to the campaign manager, Robbie Mook. "It was to sustain the DNC. We sent the party nearly $20 million from September until the convention, and more to prepare for the election. The burn rate was $3.5 million to $4 million a month," he said. That's what the DNC was spending. $3.5 million to $4 million a month. Donna Brazile, obviously incredulous, that's what she reports in this article. What had happened? The party chair usually shrinks the staff between presidential election campaigns, but Debbie had chosen not to do that. She had stuck lots of consultants on the DNC payroll, and Obama's consultants were being financed by the DNC too. You know, those consultants have got to get their paychecks, right? At the expense of the country, because now we have a madman in office, and the Republicans control the Senate and the House. So the Clinton campaign was essentially covering up and paying for the debt that Obama left. And Debbie Wasserman Schultz continued to employ the consultants that Obama so championed because they know so much, right? They're getting paid to lose, these consultants, at the tune of $3.5 million to $4 million a month. Not all to the consultants, but that's what the burn rate, as reported by Donna Brazile, was. Again, the Clinton campaign should not have done what they did, but keep in mind that this was a mess created by President Obama and Debbie Wasserman Schultz, preserving this consulting culture, this slush fund for consultants. Donna Brazile found proof of the corruption soon after. When I got back from a vacation in Martha's Vineyard, I at last found the document that described it all, the joint fundraising agreement between the DNC, the Hillary Victory Fund, and Hillary for America. The agreement, signed by Amy Dacey, the former CEO of the DNC, and Robbie Mook, with a copy to Mark Elias, specified that in exchange for raising money and investing in the DNC, Hillary would control the party's finances, strategy, and all the money raised. Her campaign had the right of refusal of who would be the party's communications director, and it would make final decisions on all other staff. The DNC also was required to consult with the campaign about all other staffing, budgeting, data, analytics, and mailings. She controlled the entire party, and there's a document to prove it. The staffing, the finances, the strategy. Ever wonder why maybe the DNC strategy was so terrible? It's because Hillary was running it. paying off the debt because she had them by the balls because of a debt Obama created. This is explosive by Donna Brazile. And that's what we talk about when we talk about rigging. That she had the party completely in her control. And of course she made it so she would be the nominee. And everyone said, not everyone said, but everyone in the establishment said she would be the best candidate because they were financially incentivized to say that. And you know what? She was the worst candidate possible. Now we have a monster in office because of this immense corruption that thankfully Donna Brazile is exposing. Here's perhaps the most important part. This victory fund agreement had been signed in August 2015, just 4 months after Hillary announced her candidacy and nearly a year before she officially had the nomination. She admits it. It was rigged. And I don't use that lightly. August 2015, the party's finances were controlled by Hillary Clinton and her campaign. Signed by Robbie Mook. That is as corrupt as it gets. Bernie Sanders didn't have a chance. It was a dog and pony show. And they let us all, millennials, get engaged and get our hopes up when behind the scenes they were pulling the strings and Hillary herself and her campaign were controlling the DNC from money that was supposed to be going to state parties from the Hillary Victory Fund. Explosive by Donna Brazile. And again, I must thank her for being a whistleblower on this issue because this may have never come to light if she hadn't written this article. Because it matters. It matters for 2018. It matters for 2020. We cannot let this happen again, and shining a light on it is incredibly important. The funding agreement with HFA and the Victory Fund agreement was not illegal, but it sure looked unethical. If the fight had been fair, one campaign would not have control of the party before the voters had decided which one they wanted to lead. This was not a criminal act, but as I saw it, it compromised the party's integrity. Damn right, Donna Brazile. It's not illegal. I don't know how it's not illegal, but it damn sure is unethical. And it should be. If there is a case study for how corrupt our campaign finance system, if we needed a case study, we could look at this, because what was done here with Obama playing a role, Debbie Wasserman Schultz playing an immense role, and Hillary Clinton and her campaign members playing perhaps the biggest role. This is corruption 101. And Donna Brazile continues to describe how Bernie Sanders was very stoic and then discussed whether Hillary had a chance in the general election. And apparently Donna Brazile said that they both expressed concerns. They were right to be concerned.